if you want me to cut the next part, but I just want to understand whether you can, in the long term, whether you want to choose FSDL or AIFF to run ISL. Yeah. Talking about the other side of the story, sir, again, if you're comfortable, you had a very abrupt end, if I can say that, in your journey with AIFF as well, right, as a general secretary. Could you shed some light on what exactly happened and what eventually led to you moving out of the role? Hi everyone, welcome back to Football Unplugged with me, Satvik. And today is going to be one of the more special episodes, one of the more special podcasts that I've done till date. And today I have none other. Today I have with me Shaji Prabhakaran, the former Secretary General of the All India Football Federation. And Shaji sir, welcome to the podcast, welcome to the interview. And it's an absolute honor talking to you.
Thank you, Satvik, for having me, and I wish you all the best in your journey.
Thank you so much, sir. So जब से ना फुटबॉल हैज बीन वेरी बिग पार्ट ऑफ माय लाइफ, राइट? तो जब से मैंने फुटबॉल खेलना शुरू किया एंड जब पता था कि अब प्लेयर नहीं बन सकते, आई वाज वेरी क्यूरियस टू नो कि मैं फुटबॉल में और कहाँ कहाँ जा सकता हूँ, राइट? एंड मैंने आपकी जर्नी देखी एंड यू स्पेंट व्हाट 25-30 इयर्स इन द फुटबॉलिंग सर्किट इन इंडिया एंड आपने क्लब प्रेसिडेंट से AIFF पोजीशन, AFC, फीफा. तो सर मुझे बस आपकी एक बार जर्नी जाननी है कि वेयर डिड ऑल ऑफ दिस स्टार्ट फॉर यू एंड how did everything sort of come into becoming connected to football? Because I see you've graduated from ISB, right? And usually एक ISB graduate not necessarily football एक वो नहीं होता route, right? तो आपके लिए वो journey क्या थी to started working in football?
Just to correct, I'm not ISB graduate, but I'm doing executive course from ISB just to upskill myself. But then always been part of the football industry from long. और आसान नहीं था, but I'm very fortunate that whatever I could do and whatever I could achieve and whatever positions I've been there, yeah. But then this journey is on, and nothing comes easy. But then you have to have the passion. But the most important thing is you have to have the drive. You have to have the determination. You should be prepared to sacrifice. You should be prepared to meet all the hurdles, and then meet those failures and then move on. And nothing is easy in football industry as far as India is concerned. But then once you have your own goal, you want to contribute, then the way will be there. But then the important thing is you have to keep working hard. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to upskill yourself, and then you have to have the right skill set to be there in whatever role you are. I wanted to be a player, but then I could not succeed because I got injured very early in my when I was 21, and then I could not come back. Therefore, I thought, okay, I have to do something in football, but then I was not clear what I will do because there was no one who can guide me because I could not see somebody who is in football industry who can guide me because I brought up in a very remote place in North Bengal, and which is all full of tea gardens, and football is an important part of the culture in that part of the world. And I'm very fortunate that from very young age I could be part of it. And then I pursued, and then when I ended up not able to get my dream fulfilled as a player, then I thought, okay, what else I can do? And I dedicated myself to the development of football, and I can say that I'm fortunate that way. But then, it's something which you dream every day to do something new, and but at the end, you need the support of the people. You need people who can guide you, who can mentor you, who can enlarge your horizon, and that way you pick the right time to move from one location to the other. You can say, but then I'm learning every day, and that way whatever I am able to do, thanks to many people.
So, sir, like, what was your first involvement? Like, what was your first job? We can say, call it a job, your first involvement in football in any form. So, how did you get into your first? Probably the journey after that is, I wouldn't say easier, but probably still relatively easier as getting into it. So, what was your first involvement in football?
See, I have to plan myself everything that way. When I got injured, when I was 21, I just crossing 22, 21, and then I thought what I have to do. Then I could not see anything which is very clear, and either what I could see is that many people are coaches, many are working as sports officers or directors of universities in sports department, and then physical education teachers and all. But then I thought I don't want to be in that direction. I want to see myself as contributing as an administrator. Mm, and very early I planned that. But then what I designed my own you know track, I can say. Then I was very lucky that I could get the UGC fellowship. And I was a junior research fellow and senior research fellow, and that's how I took the topic in my PhD degree, that why India is not doing well in football, and what are the gaps we have, and that was deliberately planned for myself and my own way, without any guidance. I thought I have to learn where I want to be. Therefore, I put 3 years of research, touring across India, meeting more under nearly 360 people. That involve current players, that involve former players, that involve uh, administrators managing different clubs, federation, associations, former referees, current referees, journalists who are covering football, and then some eminent people. And I've been to all different big cities, big locations where football is popular, to study, and that given me a great insight of where we are, what we are, and what we lack, what are the gaps, and why we lack as well. But yeah, definitely, uh, that is a great insight. But then, which really motivated me in those 3 years, and the fourth year I was writing down everything, and then finally I got my PhD doing the football research in 2000. And then there was nothing to do, because after my PhD I didn't want to be a teacher or a lecturer or anything. But then there was no opportunity for me to be part of a club or an association or anything, because everything was honorary in those
Correct.
days, and nobody was taking a professional. So then, the good thing was that I was side by side. I was developing myself as a coach as well, because I was fortunate that I got the university team to coach. Uh, uh, just the time I recovered from my injury, means not to play, because I could not come back and play at that level. But then I focus in coaching as well, so that to learn the bit of insight of coaching, and then The good thing was that I was given the university team, both men and women, and in both, in within 2 years, we bagged third place in the All India Inter-University
And which
football
university
tournament.
was this, if I can ask?
LNIP Gwalior. Yeah.
Okay.
And that way, we had, I could test, I could try things based on scientific theories, and that way I was very fortunate that I could try and get some result, and we could get that result because of the right kind of training, not that we had great talents. Yeah. But then the good thing was that our players were together for longer because we stay in the hostel, all that, and therefore we had an advantage. But then training made all the difference, and we could win it. And then I thought after my PhD, I joined the Chandigarh Football Academy as a freelance, as a what you say, completely free way to help them. And I was fortunate they given me the opportunity to be part of Chandigarh Football Academy because it was started in August 2000, and I joined them in September, and I was doing free service to them. And then after 3 months, they engaged me as a part-time coach, and there I worked for 4 years, and our players played for India. Seven of them in the India under 14 team. We had six players of
Was
one
Harjinder
academy.
Singh also back then with you guys?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. We were together. We were together. So he was the head coach, but I was really fortunate to, put everything what I've learned, and then I also went to do my UEFA B license, also from Europe. So that way, I upskilled myself, getting a coaching batch as well. But then I never wanted to be a coach. But then that was a bit of a what you say, you can say, a pit stop
A route? Yeah.
to learn and engage myself and try myself. And then simultaneously, I used to do a bit of guest lecture in few colleges, universities, and then I used to also run up some social projects in Chandigarh on weekends, where I used to invite majority of the school children to come and play, so that they get what do you say, an introduction to football. And the good thing is the Chandigarh today, we could create some legacies while I was there. And today there's a good atmosphere of football in Chandigarh, and definitely like Minerva has done a great contribution to the level what it is today, and also the Chandigarh Football Academy has done, and then few more academies are there.
Yes, sir.
But then
Being from
the
Chandigarh, sir, I think I can
yes,
just thank you because I see the work that CFA has done. Because I think the foundation for a Minerva or Round Glass right now, I think the foundation for Chandigarh football was laid by CFA. And when I was young, we used to see these players from CFA just, from the young level. I think they were absolutely brilliant. So I think credit must go to you. And, I've been fortunate enough to meet Harjinder sir once as well. So it's just beautiful what you've done. You've been managed to do with CFA as well.
yeah, that was a good experimentation for me because then I was managing whole and soul, everything there, and that way we could create more opportunity. But then those players were not that very talented.
Correct.
Had they been very talented, then they could have reached at a bigger level. But then we could win Subroto Cup. We dominated everything. But then that's sheer hard work of Mr. Harjinder Singh and we two working as one and doing everything possible so that these players those are they come from a very remote areas of Punjab, Himachal, Haryana, and now I think now they have moved out of they get players from everywhere. In my time, it was only for the and the areas where we used to locate talent is only from the north part and predominantly Punjab, Haryana. We used to get players, and but it's a good thing. I got that opportunity to work, and thanks to then Governor, Lieutenant the General JFR Jacob, who was a governor, and he used to take in interest, and he used to visit academy, and that's how we could better the facilities and give players the maximum possible. Yeah, but definitely the competitive structure uh, that time as well was not that great for us to grow to a level to a potential uh, if there was a good competitive structure. But then we cannot complain. But that academy really encouraged, influenced the entire North India, I would say, because a lot of other projects have come after that, which is really helped the football to grow.
So, sir, you spent around, 20, more than 20, 25 years, right? And you've seen Indian football, evolution from a national football league to I League to then now ISL, right? And when you sort of started, football wasn't at the best state, right? Wasn't at a good state for that matter, right? So how have you seen, Indian football evolve over the last 20, 25 years across your various stints, both at, state level or the AIFF?
I think football have grown, since '96, the National Football League started, and now there is a improvement, there is a development. But yeah, when we compare externally, then the gaps are there still to cover. But then, you know, it was not easy to launch the National Football League. Football was one of the first leagues to be in any sport in India to start with, and because commercially, it's always been a struggle for football. So therefore, then President started, launched it, and then it was a huge success for first 2 years. And how the JCT invested in big players, and that changed the whole transfer market. Earlier, it was like the Bengal clubs will dominate the transfer market, but the start of the National Football League, it changed. JCT suddenly, got the prized players, Bhutia, Vision, and Cherry, Chapman, all part of the JCT, and they winning the league. And that really encouraged other clubs also to dream big, and that kind of started the what do you say the movement, the concentration of all the players were Calcutta based, all the big players. So that '96 is the journey where the other clubs also started in investing in players. Like then the Goan club, then Mahindra United, all that started investing, and then the I League, it moved to the northeast side. Yeah, when I League started. So that way, there is a progression, and then when ISL is like, then the big, what do you say, the industrialists have come in, which really given a different profile to Indian football, and but we have to thank and salute all of them, from uh, those legacy clubs to the ISL clubs. they continuously investing in football in a hard way because it's not easy. Many of them are putting their hard-earned money into football, and they have a plan, they have a vision, and they have a passion to see that football uh, to grow in India.
So, sir, I just want to understand from you, especially with regards to ISL, right? ISL is or was considered or is still, right? You know, the pioneer or the change maker for Indian football when it comes to the global scenario as well. Do you think ISL is doing or has done what it set out to do, or there are still gaps that ISL hasn't fulfilled, or because as you've already mentioned, financially clubs are losing money every single year, right? Up onwards and upwards of around 20-25 crores, right? So what is your opinion on whether ISL has fulfilled what it promised to set out?
I think, see, what overall we have to see is that ISL has contributed uh, in the growth of Indian football because what we see is that this is the 10th year, yeah, and for India, still we are in the evolving stage of having the right, say, a model in the league, yeah. Model, I would say that where sustainability factor, where the growth factor, where the development factor uh, all come into play and have a big impact. Because see, when the ISL started in 2014, it was not easy for all those industrialists to put money where football was not the primary sport in India, where commercially there was nothing to get, and they investing with a belief, with a trust that things will improve, and in future there definitely will be a growth spurt. And uh, what we have to see is that the training facilities, the match facilities, and the support and facilities to players, what we see in ISL, that was not the case before. So therefore, these all additions have greatly improved uh, in the confidence level of the players, because we see today the players are much more confident when they are on the pitch, yeah, and they are professional, and the professionalism is growing, yeah, in Indian football overall, whether at the management side of the thing, whether at that getting the right people as a coach, as a support staff, and managing the club in a professional manner. So therefore, those are improvements. Yeah, but then I think in another 7 to 8 years, we will see that our league will be much more competitive, and we will be top three leagues in Asia. That is, I am sure, because we can see that the fan base is growing, yeah, and it is not only limited to the legacy clubs, but what Kerala Blasters, what Bangalore FC, or Odisha or Mumbai City. So they all are trying to engage fans in a much better way, in a much bigger way, and that will have bigger impact, in 7 to 8 years going forward. And therefore, we need to see is that we need to really uh, come together and openly discuss what can be improved, and what all changes need to come in the whole league structure, in the whole league management, and therefore people will be coming forward to invest more and more into Indian football, and that way I see a greater future of football in India, and our league can really become one of the most competitive leagues in Asia, because we have everything here. Yeah? Because we have the talent, and that is where I think our clubs will focus going forward, because talents need to be developed in the right manner, scientifically, in a structured way, and the clubs can invest their 15 to 20% of their budget into the youth and elite player development. Then we can see a bigger impact to our footballing landscape in India. And I'm confident because most of the people who are part of ISL are forward looking, and they are kind of convinced that we have a great future in football, and that's why they are there, and they don't mind investing more and more. But what we have to do is that we have to support each other, which is very important, and that way we will see brighter and better days for overall football in India.
So, sir, now that you've mentioned ISL as well, right? One of the criticisms that usually happen in the footballing circuit, a lot of people also talking about it, is where ISL is privately owned, and then AIFF is the government-run body, and where there was this clash of not enough time given to the national team for camps when it came to the Asian Games as well, right? So, what is your opinion on that? Is FSDL promoting Indian football in terms of the national team as well? Where are you on that debate?
You see, closely worked with FSDL, part of AIFF. So therefore, it's a matter of working together, and there is a lot of what you say, rumors in the market, and some of the times those are not true. Yeah, because as a matter of convenience, some people make those statements, but the fact is that I working with them, never had an issue. We together, working most of the aspect. Yeah, but yeah, it's not easy, for to get some of the schedules. Yeah, because see, these are the things you need to have a very long-term plan. Yeah,
Correct.
and we cannot sit together at the 11th hour and discuss things. Okay, this is what we need. This is we cannot get. Because there are what do you say, high stake. Yeah, for ISL clubs, they are invested into it, and they also need the right environment, right support. Yeah? And it is that master plan is required, like how we can get, when we can get, and what is there for all of the stakeholders. Yeah? It is the dialogue, it is the discussion. So I think we were moving in that direction where everything was possible to get. Uh, uh, what you say is that which is the middle way. Yeah, like everyone cannot get the best out of it, but then what is optimally possible in a given situation, it is possible, and that way we have to sit across and speak, and on a plan it in a way where it is mutually convenient. Yeah, at the end, because see, everyone at the end is part of Indian football, and the national team is the the prime property for everyone. Yeah? And if the national team does well, then it trickles down to every segment of football in India, and that has to be the focus. And we have to prioritize national team, no doubt, but at the end, uh, we have to have a balance so that those who are investing into football, they also have a say. They also get what they also want, and coming together, discussing and making a plan, and then implementing it in a way, uh, in a very professional manner, and that is where we have to improve. Yeah? Because Indian football, we have bigger challenges. Yeah? Because uh, it's not easy for many of the clubs to get the stadiums in time, yeah,
Hmm.
training grounds in time, and for many of the things, it's always not that tick the you click a button, it is done. There are many challenges, which is the real problem, and which outside the framework, the football structure, people might not understand. But it is a real challenge because to have the calendar is one thing, but then you don't get the facilities as per your calendar as well, yeah, because you don't own it. Yeah, and those are the challenges, and we are not what you say is that in a position that the federation or the clubs can buy those stadiums and keep them for 365 days and maintain it in a way, and those are the real challenges which at the end create issues in terms of executing uh, a professional way of a calendar.
Understood. Uh, Sir, if you want to, if you want me to cut the next part, but I just want to understand if in the long term whether you want to choose FSDL or AIFF to run ISL, right? Are you okay with me asking that question, or should I skip this bit?
No, no. See, at the end, see, mm, most of the leagues in the world, those who are very successful, have a professional organization and a professional structure, and sometimes independent structure. So therefore, our top league should have a a professional structure which is outside the federation. That is very important because then because the federation has got multiple focus. Yeah, it has to develop the game. It has to focus on youth teams. It has to run many competitions. It has to focus on national team, women's team, then developing coaches, referees, all those things. And then running a league is like running a business entity. Yeah, and therefore everything there has to be business oriented, uh, and but there has to be collaboration and a partnership and a stake in it, and that way a structure need to come in, where the clubs also become stakeholders in the
Understood.
league, because if the clubs are not the stakeholders, then it's difficult. So that way, I think going forward, I'm sure there will be a structure where the clubs, the partners, AIFF, all are working in a business-like environment to run, manage, operate the league, and there we will see a much bigger impact in our footballing landscape.
Understood. So, sir, one of those things that you've also been talking about, and is also the talk of Indian football. When people think about Indian football, a lot of times it's grassroots problem. है grassroots पे development नहीं हो रही है, players नहीं बन के आ रहे, young players are not starting at the right age. So, what according to you, is the current state of grassroots football in India? How has it evolved? and how can we sort of come to a place where young kids are starting at probably 5, 6, 7 year old, where ultimately when they develop they have the base, very a good base set up for them.
See, the grassroots football in India has grown, no doubt, and the we had a bigger plan, and that's how we launched Blue Cups
Okay.
this last April. Yeah, and the idea was that more and more children should play, and more and more children should play organized games in a structured environment, and we need more people who promote grassroots football. See, country of 1.4 billion, uh, the participation at the grassroots level, says 4 to 12-year old, still very low. Yeah,
Hmm.
because say if you go to villages, if you go to tribal areas, just not enough playing. Yeah, and they may be playing, once in a month, in some way, but then not regular, not organized, not structured. So therefore, we have to, you know, really make bigger effect, bigger impact, bigger effort in growing our grassroots, because for me, in my always been, last more than 20 years, I'm promoting grassroots football. And what I feel is that still, we are at a very infancy stage at the grassroots level itself, because we have not enough people who are promoting grassroots football. We have not enough structured activities. We have not enough encouragement at the grassroots level, and we are not empowering many stakeholders and agencies, organizations to be part of grassroots football. Because for me, grassroots football means it should exist everywhere, anywhere, anytime, yeah? And always. And that is the mantra. And for that, we need to speak every minute about grassroots football in India, and that's how we will be doing justice to our country of 1.4 billion, and then we will ultimately, dominate the world. That we will have the biggest talent pool in the world, and we will be the biggest exporters of the talent in the world. And that is where Vision 2047 envision all that. Yeah, where we specified that 100 million children will play by 2047. Yeah, it's not even 10% of the population. Yeah, by 2047, I don't know whether it will be 5% or 7% of the population. 100 million. Yeah, so that way, we have a long way to go as far as grassroots football is concerned, because we need to grow football at every level, and we have, you know, the clubs, which is more than 15,000 clubs in India, yeah, which are part of different state associations, district associations, and we need, some of them do a great job, yeah, and we need to motivate all of them to invest and engage and be part of the grassroots football, where they really bring 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old to be part of the game, and and that way we will be able to create an environment for football, which we will be experiencing for for centuries.
So, sir, when you're talking about football reaching the grassroots level, the a lot of important elements are the state federations and the district football associations, right? And a bigger complaint or something that we've seen with Indian football is general is corruption, probably sitting at the ground level, where if XYZ is my friend's son or my son, I will promote him, select him in the team, right? and this is the harsh reality. As much as we might not want to accept it, this is what happens, right? So what does AIFF, what does AIFF do in particularly? Are there, checks and balances here? How does AIFF at the top level ensure that, more and more, awareness about this and people not going into such practices happen?
See, like majority, whoever are part of state football, quality of football federation, they want to be be involved in a positive manner, and they do a lot of sacrifices to be there. Yeah, just say few may be there who are you know not in line with what it should be, and that is where our governance of football have to improve. Yeah, where good governance have to be there. Yeah, and transparency is key, because whatever we do, it should be transparent. Like what Baichung Bhutia mentioned a few months back, that the meeting should be live streamed. Yes, it should be. Yeah, because that way, whatever is discussed, people should know that, because and that's how you engage more people to be part of football. They will have more trust. They will have more belief, and that way we will see the value of everyone who is contributing in the game. Yeah, because like whatever in parliament you see it, it is live in TV, and that's how they know. My constituency MP is focusing on which area and whether I should vote him or not. Yeah, so that way the transparency part is where we have to focus. We have to improve a lot, because many of the good things people are doing are not there, and which is again gives an opportunity for everyone to paint everyone as bad.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that is also there, and that's where many good people they shy away from coming to football, which is a problem. Yeah, and we need more and more people to be part of football structure at every level, and we have to motivate them to be part of it, and that can only happen when the trust and belief in the system is positive. Yeah, and unfortunately, that's not the case, because there are negativities all around. There is no trust in the management, in the system, in the structure, which is again, the challenges only grows for football people, because then when the people doesn't trust you, believe you, then they won't come and support you. They won't open their doors for you, because you need more investment to drive it at every level, and that can only happen because if you have a trust. Yeah, if you have a belief that okay, they are doing the right thing, they are the right people, they are putting all their energy and mind resources into the game, are not into politics. Yeah, and that is our bigger challenge, and that challenge can only come if if the whole football administration and structure become transparent and adopt best practices by which we can drive more people into, because India, like full of people who want to see football rise, yeah, and they want to play an important role, but somehow that's not happening, because uh, we are not able to bring everyone together, and the reason is this one aspect, the governance of the game, which is in the minds of the people. It is really not there, which it should be, and that is where for football administrators across the ladder, it's important they to be transparent. Yeah, like you put everything black and white, your expenditure, your revenue, your decision making. Because it's not a nuclear project one is working. Yeah, it is for football. Therefore, let's be open. There's nothing to hide. And for me, uh, I can say that like uh, I totally believe in that we can achieve that. We have people who are we can trust, who are open, who are who wants football to really grow. They work 24 into 7. We don't know many of them, yeah, but and that is what is the most what I say, the negative side what we have today is that the trust and belief in the system, and which uh, the which we have to overcome. Yeah, and once that happens, our challenges, our struggles will come down, and that is what we can uh, we have to achieve.
Again, sir, I think very important insight, because a lot of times we tend to look from the other side, just start criticizing left and right without probably, knowing what happens on the other side. So again, it's very important that people get to know the other side of the story as well, right? Uh, yeah, talking about the other side of the story, sir, again, if you're comfortable, you had a very abrupt end, if I can say that, in your journey with AIFF as well, right, as a general secretary. Could you shed some light on what exactly happened and what eventually led to you moving out of the role?
No, see, I won't like to speak on this much because it's sub judice, because the Delhi High Court has stayed that part, and therefore any comment by me won't be right. But then, I am technically I am there still, but then
Hmm.
I am not functioning. That's the only difference today, because the court has stayed everything, and then let's see. But important thing is, I'm part of football. It's not about a designation. It is not
Correct.
about position. We it's a mission in life, and it's not that everything has ended. Yeah, for me, nothing has ended. It's just the journey continues to be brighter and brighter, I would say. And but then important thing is how we can contribute in the growth of the game from wherever we are, and whatever we are, because these positions will come and go, and but what is important is what is that you're doing to change and transform football from whatever position you are, yeah, as an individual, and that is what I will continue to do. And I will be coming up with some project to engage people who really have dreams to contribute in Indian football. So therefore, I'm just planning it in a planning phase where I would like to empower people, give my whatever little knowledge I have and experiences I have, so that they can be much better in whatever they do. So therefore, I'll be announcing it, and that way I'll be engaging with more people in India, which would be something I'm looking forward to it.
And all the very best for that, sir. Whatever you
Thank
plan
you.
to do, I'm sure you'll do well. So, just a final couple of things from my end, and we'd be, okay to end the interview if you have like 10-15 minutes more.
Yes.
Yeah. So, number one, when it comes to the manager, right? Igor Stimac has, two extreme sort of fan bases, if I can say that, or thoughts, right? Where some people absolutely adore Igor Stimac, some people really, think do not think he deserves to be the manager of Indian football. Having seen multiple managers, whether it is Indian manager or Constantine, and to now Igor Stimac, what do you think? What is your opinion on Igor Stimac and the work he's done with the national team?
See, know, I've closely worked with him for nearly 15 months. What I can say is that he's, know, he has an experience, he has a profile. So we should not forget that, he has, he, he has a medal, World Cup medal, yeah, and being a third place as Croatian in 1998, a defender. Therefore, what experience he has got, nobody in India has got. That we have to very much understand. Yeah. And every coach will have its strength and its weakness. Yeah, and that we all know, whether it is you know uh, the best of best, whether it is whomever we say in the middle or at the lower end. So everyone has got their strengths and weaknesses, and India for any coach is super challenging. Yeah, and for fans and for everyone, the result only matters. The coach is as good as his last match. We know everything. Like, after every week end, you know, the way the result comes, everyone will comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So therefore, we should not be looking into that comments having two sides. Okay, one is rooting for Stimac, one is against Stimac. It's just a like couple of games. Yeah, and that what we have experienced with many coaches. So therefore, see, any coach who is coming to India, uh, uh, they have to understand is that for football in India is a bigger challenge than wherever they are coming. Yeah? And it's not easy, and to for us to get results is even difficult. But then, so what we have to see is that we have to compare, say, pre-Stimac and Stimac era. Yeah. What we can see is that the level of the game what we play. Yeah.
Correct.
Like, we can put passes together, we can
Mm.
press, we can move, yeah, we can create opportunities, and there is a level, yeah, which if you see, year on year, we have progressed. Yeah, yeah. Forget the results what we got in Asia Cup. That that is again a debatable thing. Whether we could have got some result. Definitely possible. It's not. I am not ruling out. But then, to coach to function in a system, we have to see is that what is the ingredient he is having, and what is the support system he is having, and from where the players are coming. Yeah, let's say, like Syrian players. If you compare with India, our players all playing in ISL. Yeah, we have the level of competitiveness, and the Syrian players, some said, okay, they are, you know, a war-torn country, but we have to understand that their players are not, in Syria. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are playing. Some players are playing even in South America. Yeah. Some players are in other Asian leagues. Yeah. So therefore, the players where they come from, which league they come from, and what the levels are, and all matters. Yeah. So therefore, we need to compare in the right way. But then, Stimac, he is a great motivator, I would say. He can bring team together very fast. That are the strength. Yeah. But then, we have to. India is a project, and we have to really do, because we can't, expect coach to be in a isolated chamber with his players, and he and the players together can do a miracle. Yeah? It is a system. Yeah, the system and the top outcome is the national team. Yeah, so therefore the whole system, when working as one and really peaking the at the top, yeah? And that is the system we need to bring in. It is not the coach at the end will make a huge difference to the level of football we have. Yeah, so we have to understand that we need to really have a 7 to 10 year project where we really come up with a super national team plan, and that is where we started to work. Yeah, and say the trophy, we got 3 trophies back to back.
Correct.
And it was a performance. It was not that just something happened and they got those trophies. The result, we beat high ranked sides. The Kyrgyzstan was high ranked side. Uh, uh, Even
Kuwait.
Lebanon was high ranked side. Yeah, Kuwait, yeah, their ranking doesn't demonstrate the level what they are,
Correct.
but then we beat them. Yeah, and then the World Cup qualification also. So that match against Kuwait, we won away match. But then it's a process. Yeah, and we need to really work with a project plan, and we should know and communicate better. It is not that the coach only communicate what the national team is like. You know, it is the management. It is the leadership. Come up and say, this is what we expect. This is what we are going to do. And it working as one team, very important. And the whole chain, the clubs are very important. The clubs, like they also play an important role in the national team development. But then that partnership to exist, we need to collaborate. We need to sit together, and this is where we need to bring in a plan and a project, and that is possible because at the end, you know, we are a very patriotic country. We can die for the country, die for the cause, and we see that football is able to project that unity wherever we play. Yeah, and that energy what we get from the fans in the stadium, outside the stadium, and the interactions and engagement what happens in social media. No other sport in India is able to bring that energy in front like football. So therefore, we all have that positivity. But then, what we lack is, how we get the best out of it. So therefore, national team cannot be seen in isolation. We
Hmm.
need to really, bring that what you say the element of togetherness. Yeah? It is not at the end only the coach responsibility to get the result.
Hmm.
It is everyone. Yeah, the player is working hard. The player, each of them are giving their 100%. But then every one of us have to give more than 100% for to get that result, and it has to be demonstrated in our work. It has to be reflected in our thought process and what we do on a daily basis. And if that happens, we will be able to bring about more energy and give that energy to our players. That the 12th man is should not be restricted to those only in the stadium. It
Correct.
is much process. Yeah, it starts much you know before the game day, and we forget that to that team which represents India need to be given everything. And what is the question to be asked? Whether we are giving everything, yeah, and to expect something, miracle cannot happen. Yeah, miracle cannot happen. Miracle can only happen when we are giving everything the
Hmm.
best. Yeah. and then we can expect miracle. And I'm sure our national team will definitely grow. Yeah, it's unfortunate now we have gone down to our ranking to 117, which is a real a shame that we have gone down. But then now we have to really put that focus back, and that is the biggest priority we should have. That the national team gets should get the best out of the system, and if we can do that, we can only move forward.
Yeah. Final question, sir, from my end, last, and we'll sort of close the interview if that is all right with you.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Yeah. You just talked about clubs and the national teams joining hands, right? Can you name a few clubs who, according to you, are doing brilliant at the grassroots level for the national team, or clubs who are doing brilliantly at the grassroots level, which other clubs can probably replicate?
I think, see, like all the clubs are supporting the national team. It's not bad,
Hmm.
but then some of the clubs have better resources, better infrastructure facility, and that way they are able to do better in terms of grassroots development, youth player development as well. Like say, Bangalore is doing well in that aspect. FC Goa, they are also developing their infrastructure, trying to engage the youth more and spreading the game in the community. Yeah, and likewise, our legacy clubs, East Bengal, Mohan Bagan, they also wants to do. And Odisha FC, because of the great support from the government of Odisha, they are able to uh, grow the game and supporting the growth of football in Odisha. But then they are working as team, the government, the football association there, and the FC Odisha, all they are working as a team. Therefore, we will see a greater impact there as well. And Jamshedpur definitely, because Tata,
Hmm.
what they have contributed to football, no other industry has
Industry.
contributed in India, and they have continued, from the Tata Football Academy to Jamshedpur FC. Yeah, they. I'm sure whatever they do, is that continuation of the process of engaging the community around them and inspire them, and that way, salute to them what they do. And the Northeast now gaining momentum in
Yeah.
terms of their new approach, where they are going to invest in talent development, growing the game across the region in Northeast. It's good. What they need to see, all of these big clubs. They need to have partnership, collaboration with smaller clubs. Yeah, and that way they can share resources. They can achieve their objectives much faster, and it will be better. And that is where the model they have to think, because alone you have limitations. Yeah, because you have putting your uh, you know what the focus resource in the main team, then
Hmm.
you try to see how much you can put in the development aspects of the game, and that is where the collaboration is key. And some of the clubs are really going out and collaborating, and this model have to put across, and that way we will see, like Mumbai City, because they are now trying to do a lot in terms of connecting more youth into the game, and they have their global experience, expertise,
Yeah.
and best practices. I think they are in a best position to implement something what they are doing in different parts of the world. So I'm sure, see, the clubs will grow in India, will engage bigger and bigger communities, and we will see a much bigger fan base for all the clubs, and that is where the commercial world will be looking towards India, because football is a one sport where we should not remain disconnected. Otherwise, those who are connected, they will get the maximum, and it is the right time to become part of football in India, and a smaller way they can start, because football is destined to grow in India much faster compared to any other sport. And women's football, no doubt,
Yeah.
and that inclusiveness we should not forget, very important. And I'm really, very, very confident that our clubs will grow bigger and bigger.
On a closing note, sir, thank you so much. I think it's been a insightful as a conversation. A small message that you'd want to give to the fans, and then we'd end the interview. Anything that you'd want to say? Trust the process. Trust whatever AIFF is doing, and then we'd.
No, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure having this conversation with you. My message to everyone, those who are part of football, is that whatever you are doing to support football, continue to do. Don't think of support coming from anywhere else. Please don't hesitate to reach me. I will be always for football.